Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the last week of August 24 until the 28th, looking at retail, low print, and imports, plus our community spotlight where you show off your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game. And because this is the last week of the month, the winner for this month will be decided at the end. But before then, let's jump into this week's releases. Nexomon is releasing physically this week. This is a Pokemon wannabe, an indie attempt at catching that monster battling magic. Alex reviewed this for us late last week and found it to be fairly generic, despite it looking pretty beautiful. Still, it might be worth a look if you're fine with it being like a budgeted Pokemon experience. And be sure to take a watch of our review if you missed it. There was a lot of negative comments about it, but you know, we stick by it and we're always happy for a discussion. Let us know if you're picking this one up. And Nexomon is Ganekas's pick of the week. Jump Force Deluxe Edition is releasing to spice up your anime-infused collection. This is a fighting game mashup of all your favorite shonen heroes, Naruto, Luffy, and that dude with the spiky hair. Players take control of 3 characters to duke it out against another player in a 3D space. In this Deluxe Edition, you get all the base game, plus all the characters from the Season 1 pass, leaving you with over 50 characters to play as from almost 20 well-loved shonen franchises. I know this was met with lukewarm reception when it launched on other consoles a while back, but one would hope, it's been tweaked since then. It's gotta be an anime fan's wet dream. Giraffe and Annika is releasing this week thanks to NIS America. This is a cutesy, innocent-looking adventure game where looks are deceiving. If you've watched our review already, you'll know why. But let's just say it doesn't quite live up to the quality you'd expect from a bigger publisher like NIS America. As far as I'm aware, this release is similar to something like La Mulana and Void Terrarium, where there's only a collector's edition available called the Musical Mayhem Edition. No standard release, hence the markup on price on a below-average 5-hour game. Anyways, the physical looks kinda lovely, which is sad, but who knows, you may like it. Please check out our review for more info. Street Power Football looks like the arcade street-style football that we've all been waiting for since the Mario Strikers games. Well, that's optimistic because this has all the warning signs of being kind of a little bit pants. I don't know. It should also be noted that in North America, it's called Street Power Soccer because, well, it's North America. And I don't think that it's releasing this week for you guys. Looks like you'll have to wait until the end of September if Amazon US is anything to go by. Oddworld Munch's Oddysee is the second of 3 Oddworld games heading physically to the Switch, all thanks to Microids. We had Stranger's Wrath not too long ago, now we have the other sort of like non-conformist game in the series, Munch's Oddysee, when Abe went 3D for the first time. It wasn't wholly successful, but this is a well-remembered game, although perhaps not a downright classic like some of the others. I still very clearly remember when I bought my Xbox around launch time with my entire Christmas and birthday money combined. I had a choice of buying 2 games with it, and I got Halo and this. No Project Gotham for me. Anyways, there's a standard release as well as a little collector's edition with a lenticular box, keychain, and stickers. That's not all Microids have for you this week, oh no. They've got the 3rd release of Gear Club 2 lineup for you. We had the original one, then the Porsche one, and now we have the Tracks edition, which adds a new campaign mode, plus the world famous Le Mans race. And don't forget, a few extra cars to boot. I played the base game and enjoyed it for what it was. It was maybe the best pseudo-realistic racer on the Switch at that time, but I have a feeling it's been eclipsed by the likes of Grid Motorsport. Anyways, anyone up for a 3rd helping? Do Not Feed the Monkeys is perhaps releasing this week in Europe. I'm never 100% certain with Badland games, although they've certainly become more reliable as of recently. Anyways, this is an interesting voyeur simulator as you watch people go about their lives and perhaps uncover some dark secrets. Probably not the most expected physical release of all, but a nice quirky one I would say. And this is Brent McLean's Pick of the Week. Captain Tsubasa looks like a dream come true for me. Anime plus football, and you got my money any day of the week. I mean, I feel all the guilt in the world for not buying all of the Inazuma 11 games that were on the DS, so I definitely got to get my hands on this one to show that this is something that I need in my life. There's a standard edition, a deluxe edition, which includes some digital bonuses, plus remember that ultra expensive set that came with a full-size football table? Anybody here get that one? Anyways, I look forward to seeing this at number 1 in the charts around the world. Okay, probably not. Captain Tsubasa is Jonathan Rumor and Dane Wilkinson's Pick of the Week. Immortal Realms is perhaps releasing this week. I've always been unsure about this one since the listing has been like around forever. It keeps changing, so take this one with a pinch of salt. Plus, I'm not entirely convinced of its European release, but we'll see. This is a pretty gothic, cool looking strategy game that combines kingdom management and turn-based battles. Although they've gone and lost me by adding card elements. I can't bear card stuff in games. Anyways, I look forward to seeing this in your community spotlight section, purely out of interest to see if it does actually come out or not. A nice quick mention to House Flipper, which is releasing in North America this week after its European release. And also, I want to rectify a mistake that I made in last week's episode. I said that PGA 2K21 was coming to the Switch physically last week, but I was wrong. It actually delayed until September, unlike the other console version. Sorry about that, but you can understand, right? I can't check every single thing. Alright, let's jump into the low print releases. On the 25th, you can pre-order Ruin from 2 outlets. Yes, Limited Run and Special Reserve are tag teaming once again to drain your wallets dry with cover variants. Both are open pre-orders. Ruiner, if you're not exactly sure what it is a fantastic brutal action shooter that we reviewed on the channel. Juan put that one together and I'm sure he really enjoyed it. Not that I was going to pick it up anyways, but I wouldn't even if I was interested. There is a Japanese release coming out before this one, but apparently they have taken the English out of it and tried to prevent people from importing it by requesting sites to take down the listing. Sorry, that kind of business practice doesn't fly with me, guys. And Ruiner is God of Resin's Pick of the Week. Mighty Gunvolt Burst is another limited run release, this time on the 28th. Supposedly a cheap, cheerful Mega Man-like game, even better than the Mighty No. 9 universe that it's based upon. Speaking of which, I still don't have my damn 3DS version, guys. Where's it at? Anyways, I think this will be a nice one to add to the collection of any fan of action platformers, especially of a retro style. 28th. Some of you pointed out that I failed to mention Strictly Limited's variation of Ys Origins. This is getting a standard retail release as well in Europe, which is why it slipped by me. But anyways, as part of their distribution service, they have this one in a standard and collector's edition with a cover variation of the standard retail. The collector's edition comes with a 2 CD soundtrack, stand diorama, enamel pin, sticker sheet, and card. A little underwhelming, but it's not breaking the bank either. Plus, I'd rank the cover art 3rd of the 4th currently revealed. European standard is ranked bottom trash, then this one. Second would be Limited Runs, pretty decent, but Asia is by far the winner and is the one that I'm getting. I don't think the Japanese one has been revealed yet. I'm guessing it'll probably be the same as the Asian one though. Alright, let's jump into imports this week. There's not a whole lot going on, but just remember that if any takes your fancy and you'd like to import them for yourself, then there are import links below in the description and the pinned comment. Help support this little series especially. And as a thank you, if you use our links, in return you can get a nice 5% off your order if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. It's all one word, while checking out SwitchWatchTV, you get 5% off your order. Not that there's going to be a lot to buy this week. First up, one of the most disappointing releases of the year so far, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles HD Remaster. For me, this was supposed to be one of the golden boys of the imports in 2020, but Square has gone and effed it up. Like, seriously, this Japanese exclusive physical release does not have English. What?
You were the chosen one!
I'm guessing that has to do with the online matchmaking being region locked, so if you buy the Japanese one, you can only play with people in Japan. Ridiculous. Come on, Square. You were so good about having English on board. Why the sudden change? The digital release in the West has all European languages and Japanese, so why does the Japanese one not have anything but Japanese? I also have my other suspicions about the lack of English, but I'll save that for a rainy day should it come to pass. KONOSUBA, God's Blessings on This Wonderful World, Labyrinth of Hope, and The Gathering of Adventures Plus is a very exhausting title, and it's also a first-person dungeon crawler with some nice anime arts, visual novel kind of stuff. I'd definitely have an interest in this one, however, it does not have English. But since Kadokawa Games are involved, I would not be surprised to see NIS America get involved in bringing this to the West at some point down the line. We shall see. Ozmafia is an otome visual novel releasing in Japan, sadly no English, and also there's another one in the form of Shinobi Koi Utsutsu for Nintendo Switch, once again no English. Pretty disappointing week on the imports front. Never mind, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical community spotlight where you show off your pickups, and if you're featured, then at the end of this episode, you're in the draw to win a physical Switch game. And it is a nice one. We're gonna see that. Anyways, firstly, me. In anticipation of a game releasing physically in Europe next week, I would like to show off my Asian release of Road to Guangdong. Guangdong Zhilu. This released in Asia a few weeks ago, a little bit under the radar, since I actually missed it from this video series, even though I did know it was coming. This is a road trip experience and a cool looking one at that. As you can see, the box and back cover is all in English, and there's no age rating on this one. I know some of you like that. My Asian release came with 2 recipe cards plus a little flavor text book in dual Chinese and English. I believe this little book is exclusive to the Asian release, but the European will get the recipe cards as well as like a different kind of manual thing. Anyways, I think so. Anyways, I'm really liking this purple hue to the cover. You know, I'm living in China. I've been for like this is my 8th year now. Jesus Christ. So, you know, I had to get my hands on this one. If you want the Asian release, then there are imports below. If you want to wait for the European version, check out next week's episode. North American people, I haven't heard about this releasing over there, so maybe you'll want to import it. Alright, let's get on to you lot. Let's start with Derek Jenkins, who showed off his recent controller accessories specifically designed with Ace Angler in mind. One is a separate release while the other is bundled with the Japanese game, which can be patched to have English. I still need to get my hands on one of these controllers. Art Minus Me showed off this beautiful photo of their Paper Mario collection. How about a collection like this on the Switch? I'd love to be able to play 64 and the GameCube games on the Switch. Sam, or No Face, got some nice visual novels, plus Travis Strikes Back, which has just reminded me how much I can't wait for No More Heroes 3. That's gotta be arriving this year, right? Retro Boy sent in these games, including Door Kickers, Action Squad from Strictly Limited. Man, it feels like ages ago since I talked about that one in this series. It took them so long to get it out. Avery Brown got in 3 very different games, including Monopoly, which I have to say, I absolutely hate that board game. I'm just too nice of a person. It's just impossible for me to win in it. I refuse to play games where I need to be a dick. Chris Giles got in some excellent releases, including one of my favorites, Taiko no Tatsujin, including the drum controller, which, in my mind, is pretty essential. Okay, maybe not essential, but it really does elevate the fun. Andrew Kelly also got in Door Kickers, plus a fun little title in Helmet, which is a game that we've seen more and more often here. Tyson Bailey got in some rather recent games. Fairy Tail looks so good. I just wish the story started at the beginning so I didn't feel like I was missing out massively. Joel Parker picked up these 2 games. Not a bad price for the rather recent physical in The Persistence, a rogue-like first-person horror, which is an interesting combo. Our executive producer Ganika sent in this one. He also got in Bayonetta 2 and Cat Quest Double Pack. Very nice. Boombox sent in a few photos this week. Firstly, of this colourful collection of games, plus some good old fishing. Man, these 2 are really becoming quite popular, I can see. Mansfield Bear showed off a collection of games from past couple of weeks. Super Chariot is a physical that I see quite often here in China. Fairly cheap too, like $10, but I've still not pulled the trigger. Neverbirth sent in some fancy looking games, has Japan written all over it. I'm liking the art style of that Fairy Frenzy F. Reminds me of like old school Final Fantasy artwork. Streaming on the Corner sent in this picture, including 2 games that I definitely want myself. I'd like to try Dust, since I've heard great things about it, plus Agalos, which I think is starting to get some traction with you guys, starting to pop up more and more often. Ying got in one of my favorite games from last year, with the Japanese version having the keychain. It's Dusk Diver. A bit of a rough gem, this one. I love it. YZ, or EZ, I don't know, showed off some fun games. Happy to point out the collector's edition of Blade Arcus Rebellion, which was the start of my import journey. It was the first import game that I reviewed, and although it does not have English, you know, it's a fighting game, so it's not that bad. The game itself is just okay, nothing special, but the premium edition looks excellent, and I want it myself. Matthew Falls made me a happy boy with this Final Fantasy goodness. 10 is one of my favorite games of all time, and 7 Remake is easily my favorite game of the year so far. It just blew me away. Palmer got in some retro shooter goodness with the Western Psycho collections, plus a little bit of a legend in these parts, Gigantic Army. Chris from Cali showed off a fairly topical release in the middle, which is the Japanese version of Aokana, a very recent game. I don't think this Japanese version has English, sadly, but, you know, it still looks very nice nonetheless. Captain Slow got in a cheeky purchase of God Eater 3, a supposedly very decent game, and a good port to the Switch too, plus a very recent release in the excellent Aokana. Zone 7 finally got their hands on their Kickstarter Wonderful 101. Man, these are slowly arriving around the world. Bunny Voidstron sent in some nice pre-owned pickups from GameStop. Always a minefield, as they often arrive like Dragon's Dogma up there, but nice to see most of them arrived complete. Park Ranger was another one to get in door kickers. Is this actually a good game? I have no idea about it. Anime got in these games, including the poor cow suffocating in Friends of Mineral Town, and it looks like they opted for the much cheaper European version of Ys 8. Man, you know, some of those prices in the US are insane. Mr. Valgard got in these games, including Brigandine from Limited Run Games, a decent strategy RPG, along with Mercenary Saga. Punky Dooster did what he does best, allowed us to see some very nice Zelda goodness. That Link's Awakening card is just so adorable. Matthew Hutton was late to the party with Xenoblade, but don't worry, it's never too late to play this masterpiece. Bruno Silva had a nice pickup of Dark Souls for a reasonable price, still yet to get this one myself. Michael Vilchevsky sent in this picture with a mix of new additions and some old favorites, loving the Dragon Quest trilogy plus Vaporum, which is not a game that we see often. I don't know how it plays myself, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty decent. Tim sent in this picture of a nice sextuple super rare game set. That's the first time I've ever used the word sextuple. Yay. Corey Graham sent in this photo, including the ever beautiful Gorogoa, plus the epic artwork of Children of Morta. Marcio Quintanillero sent in these two great games. I really need to get stuck into the Collection of Mana sometime. I played through a lot of the third game when I was reviewing the remake, but that's about it. I think I'm missing out. Joseph Wharton Walker sent in these two games, very different from each other. Turok is such a fun shooter even to this day. It was so refreshing to play. Dimmigs got in the epic collector's edition of Daemon X Machina as an absolute beast. Raven Knight picked up Indivisible, which looks like a fantastic game. This is the Police 2, I wasn't so keen on, though the cover art is quite cool. Marty Marr got a double helping of Skullgirls Second Encore on the Switch. I swear you guys are doing this on purpose. I mean, teasing me one, you know, fine, I can take it. Two, that's just harsh, man. Adamski got in these games, including the very nice and underappreciated Lone Wolf from Super Rare, very interesting release by them. Amongst his many PS4 pickups this week, Chris Hepburn snagged Mario and Rabbids for a very decent sale price. Such a great game, that one. Chucks Taylor sent in this photo of State of Mind, a fairly obscure title these days, even though I remember a lot of people being excited about it when it was running up to release. Lord Vapor was one of the lucky ones to get It'll Do Collector's Edition from One Print Games. COVID really hit their delivery options hard over there in Japan, and they're still struggling to send them out to the US, but it's nice to see them finally arriving in the flesh. Pokemothers picked up the recent Aokana plus an import exclusive, the collector's edition of Blair Witch, something that I have myself, just haven't got around to showing it to you guys yet. Anyways, you can get this off PlayAsia if you use our links, but they said that Amazon Japan has this edition a lot cheaper, so head over there as we'd prefer you to save some money rather than support us with the higher price. Anyways, God of Resin, our executive producer, got in the fascinating Bee Simulator. I just really want this, but I've heard the Switch version isn't the best, although that's not stopped me before. Rich Bergin got in the fantastic import of World of Final Fantasy, the excellent visual novel of Aokana, plus the star of the show, Atelier Ryza. Just a really nice game. Not cheap though. H&F shared this lovely photo of their super rare haul. Nice to see everything laid out like that. It really helps sell the package. Valiant Spain sent in these games, including two lovely pixel art titles. Finding Teddy 2 and Shmup Collection, both worth being in a collection for sure. We gave away Finding Teddy 2 a few weeks ago, which means I'm still trying to grab my own personal copy if I can somehow get it here in China. I managed Shmup Collection, so, you know, who knows. And to end this week's show, we have Robert, who sent in a lot of photos, a little bit too much to go through, but he has some fine selections, including great PlayAsia exclusives. I need to get on that Onion and Odalis. Yes, my word processor always auto-corrects it to Onion, so it's Onion and Odalis. Plus, nicely what's inside Vanbrace from Game Fairy. Looks to be a nice little package, not as big as I thought, kind of on par with what PlayAsia do. Alright, thanks ladies and gents, it's always fantastic to see what you've got. Please send me your pictures over at Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me so I can keep track of it, or you can tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. I'll also give you a nice little retweet. You can email it in at contactors@switchwatch.co.uk. Just make sure you start the email title with Community Spotlight so I don't miss it, and don't use the website form to send the email because that goes to the website, not to me. Plus, we have a Discord, which is a nice way to have a chat with you guys. Plus, you can send your pictures there in the submissions section. Discord server link is below. Alright, that just means there's only one more thing to do. We need to give away the Community Spotlight prize for August. What is the prize? It is House Flipper, the Signature Edition. I bet you weren't expecting that. Well, okay, if you're in the Discord, maybe you were when Juan blurted it out. But anyways, as mentioned in last week's episode, this looks to be a very interesting game, very left field in terms of physical releases, let alone having a limited edition, such as the signature one that we have here. This is going to be a fine little title to add to someone's collection as you buy, renovate, and sell houses. The package is going to be excellent too, as you know, all signature edition games are. So, anyways, here are all of your names on the wheel. I'm gonna call it Spotlight Spinner Winner. Yeah, I'm not good with names. Anyways, let's give it a spin and see who the winner is. Choco Loco James. Mr. Choco Loco, be sure to contact me in your usual way once you've seen this, and we will sort you out with this nice little prize. Many thanks to Merge Games and Signature Edition Games. They put out some wonderful stuff, so be sure to check them out if you haven't already. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physicals. I'm suffering from a very bad cold. Thankfully, I've powered through this. Special thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Gannicus, and all the others who joined our memberships. Plus you, yes, you watching right now. If you watched all the way here, you're a trooper. You're a legend listening to me rant. Yeah, anyways, thank you so much. Be sure to check out some of our content that we've had this past week. We had a lot of content. We had Alcana, very positive review. We had Nexomon. The comments were absolute dumpster fire, but you know, it's fine. Giraffe Annika, which is just a really bad game. Be sure to check them out so that you're warned and you can know what to buy or not buy. All right, guys, we'll see you over there. Take care. Have a good one.